Split a pair away from home. Cal Poly split a pair at home. They lost their conference opener to UCSB 63-45, but bounced back 3 nights later to take down Lamine Genet and CSUN 74-56 in what was a demonstrative victory. The tip is up in the air, and Hawaii will control here against a Cal Poly team that is 4-12 overall, but I think all are in agreement, a team that is much more capable than what their record to this point dictates.
Yeah, this is a team you cannot take lightly.
They've played a tough schedule to this point, certainly through the non-conference slate. Zigmars Raimo a couple of times no, a third time block, got it back again, sets up Avea Samuta for 3. Zigmars Raimo putting in extra work there on that possession.
Zigmars wanted to try and get his stat line up in a hurry.
That's right. Hawaiian Financial FCU starting lineup scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You will notice Bernardo da Silva starting for the 4th straight game here for the Rainbow Warriors.
The young man has grown up, that's for sure.
This is Alemami Koroma, who is able to go around the defender and kiss it off of the glass. He's averaging 6 points a game. Just a freshman from Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Yeah, he's athletic, I can see that.
Well, speaking of athletic, Avea with the cut, misses the lay-in, but the follow is there. Hawaii cleaning up the glass here on the first cut at the helm. Previously an associate head coach at Cal State Fullerton, in fact, was on that staff from 2013 to 2019. And in fact, his dad, Fred, known as Lucky Smith, a standout here at Hawaii before being a 6th-round pick of the Milwaukee Bucks back in 1968. So connections between these two programs continue.
Yeah, I had no idea. Good steal by Smith.
Yeah, Smith, who is the nephew of head coach John Smith. And the layup by his son, Jamal Smith, off the mark, and we got a double dribble called against Samuta Avea.
Yeah, Smith to Smith. I wonder,
it's like a law firm.
Yeah, I wonder which Smith gets ripped on the most by the dad. The nephew or the son? Probably his son.
That is a good question.
Yeah, John Smith's dad, Lucky, he was a big-time player for Hawaii. Big time.
Pass goes out of bounds, and so a fairly inauspicious start here for the Mustangs, as Hawaii out-rebounding them early and getting a ton of second-chance opportunities. And then the unforced turnover there. Hawaii up 5-2 here early on. The Rainbow Warriors coming in 10-6 on the year. 6-1 in Big West Conference home openers. Eddie Stansbury the pull-up way off the mark. And then the takeaway as Da Silva had saddled it. Got it ripped away by Keith Smith. Malik Harwell, a few too many twists and turns for his own good, and he's called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, this game is not starting off as a game that you would make a video and show your team and your little people how you want to play the game. This is a little rough.
The symphony is a little out of tune here.
Yeah, it's like
early on.
What does the conductor? They tap it. Let's start over.
That's right.
My.
But up and down action. Bernardo da Silva loose underneath and give the assist to Drew Buggs. He is the leader in the conference once again in that department.
Drew Buggs is so good at delivering the basketball, and Bernardo da Silva has really good hands. He has soft hands. He catches easy.
Here's Tuka Yakola going to the left hand too strong, and the rebound corralled by da Silva. Here is Drew Buggs averaging 5.4 assists per game. Hawaii up a handful. Raimo from the mid-range, okay.
Zigmars coming through with that little mid-range jump shot, and he gets a lot of those looks. Sometimes he takes it, sometimes he doesn't, but if he can knock that down consistently, he will be a big-time factor.
Just under 9 points per game, the average for Zigmars Raimo. Also the team leader in rebounds. Good drop off there. Yakola stuffs it off of the dime from Keith Smith.
That's your basic pick and roll. Good assist by Smith.
Keith Smith, regarded as perhaps the most athletic point guard that Cal Poly has had maybe the better part of a decade. He is a transfer from VMI. Raimo in the post area. Backing in on Kyle Colvin, goes to the left hand and draws the contact. Colvin, a redshirt freshman from right there in San Luis Obispo, picks up the foul.
Watch this pick and roll now. Great job, good bounce pass by Smith. And the big fella does not lay it up, he flushes it.
Smith, one of several transfers here for this program. John Smith rebooting it a bit, rehauling the roster. His son Jamal, a transfer from Cal State Fullerton. They also have Malik Harwell, whose name we called earlier, picked up the offensive foul. He is a grad transfer from Boise State. And so players who have seen some success at other programs, trying to see if they can duplicate that in San Luis Obispo County.
He's excited about his future. He thinks he's got a nice line on some players to come in next year, and they'll be very, very competitive next year.
Raimo good on the free throw. 2 for 2 on that trip, and Hawaii up 11-4. Thoughts on the start here for the Bows?
Well, Hawaii's doing what they need to do. They're getting out at home, getting a good start, not shooting the ball extremely well, but what they're doing is they're winning the war on the boards, and if you do that, you'll always be in games.
Here's Jamal Smith trying to work against Justin Webster, fresh into the game. Da Silva spanks it away.
Ooh.
Here's Bugs in transition, sets up Webster, 3 up, 3 down.
That's freshman to freshman to freshman. Webster guarding, Da Silva blocking, Webster knocking down the 3. That's nice.
A 10-point advantage here, not even 5 minutes in for the home team. Number 24, Junior Ballard on the floor for Cal Poly. He's the team's leading scorer, 11 points per game. Coming off of the bench, though, for the 3rd straight outing. He tries a 3 here, draws nothing. He'll hear it from the fans.
Poly's got to be careful because this game is starting to get away from them.
Too hard of a hedge that time by Yakola, picks up the foul. But Bernardo Da Silva, you can't spell Da Silva without the D, right?
Yeah.
How about D and 3 from his buddy Justin Webster? Hawaii up 10. Start here. What do you think is at the heart of this positive start? One of the
rebounding.
Yeah, one of the statistics stands out, obviously, the rebounding.
No, Rainbow Warriors are just dominating. They're claiming everything off the glass.
Yeah, literally 9 rebounds for Hawaii, 0 for Cal Poly.
It's like Poly has been told you cannot grab a rebound. We're working on rebounding advantage for the team in green.
Webster has to hoist with the shot clock winding down. Raimo may have had an opportunity to go up with it, decided not to. Look at the fight by Bernardo.
Once again, you don't get a rebound.
Webster leans in, no. Da Silva still fighting for that offensive board, and finally it's cleared by Junior Ballard. That will be the first rebound of this game for the Mustangs. Here's a takeaway. Z in transition. To the hoop, he's fouled by Keith Smith.
Keith Smith was not going to give up the lay-in, and Zigmars, I thought he almost tried to cup it as he was going up for it. Let's watch it again. Now, Zigmars with the great steal. He gets control of the ball, and I thought he was getting ready to cup it, but he gets fouled, and we'll get to the line for 2 shots.
Zigmar's having a heck of a year. Maybe not in terms of scoring as expected. 8.8 points per game, not too shabby certainly, but what he has done is he has helped to dominate in other areas. He is the top rebounder in the conference at 7.3 per game. He's also the team leader in steals, which is something we just saw moments ago.
It's amazing. He has done an outstanding job of playing the passing lanes and getting steals for the Rainbow Warriors.
How much does the presence of a big, started off with Dawson Carper, who started the first 13 games of the season, giving way to Bernardo Da Silva now in that starting rotation. How much of just the presence of that true 5 guy helps Zigmars Raimo in being able to roam?
It helps him tremendously because he doesn't have to stay home and try and be the protector of the glass. He can go and overplay things. He can take chances because he knows he has a big behind him.
Here's Ballard on the drive, lost the handle. Another takeaway for the Bows. Bugs in full stride, got that one blocked by Smith.
Wow.
Keith Smith getting some air on that one and denying access.
That was a great move by Bugs, too, the challenge.
And Colvin sticks the 3. He is a 29% three-point shooter. Got off to an extremely hot start this season. Cooled off a little bit as he started to rise up the scout. But he sticks it there, and Hawaii up 15-7. Here's a takeaway by Smith. Foot race with Webster. Draws the contact, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Rainbow Warriors a little tentative in their offensive set on that play that time. Zigmars is trying to give the ball to Justin Webster. He's got to come off of that a little harder and catch the ball. They've got to get in sync with their communications as far as how you're going to give that pass.
So Smith to the line, a 6-foot redshirt junior from Danville, California. Redshirted last year after transferring from VMI. Prepped at Montverde Academy in Florida, an esteemed prep program. And he rattles the first free throw in and out, a 71% free throw shooter. He's the team leader in assists and steals, but his assist numbers are about half of what you get from Drew Buggs.
Drew Buggs is the ultimate maestro. He is the conductor of this team. He runs things, and it's good to see. He's having a great junior season.
Second free throw leaves it short. Rebound to Buggs. Dawson Carper on the floor for Hawaii. The 7-footer from Colorado Springs. Stansbury looking into Z. Against the redshirt Frosch, just backs him in, trying to make room for himself. First time no, second time no, and the tip-in is there by Carper.
Zigmar says, I like being the leader in rebounds in the conference, so I'm just going to miss some shots and grab rebounds.
How about 7 offensive boards for Hawaii compared to 0 for the Mustangs?
Yeah, it's unbelievable what Hawaii has done on the glass.
Colby Rogers, number 3, into the game for Cal Poly, and we'll have a defensive foul called. Looks like Carper going to pick this one up.
Yeah, Dawson Carper gets called for the foul, and the big fella that came in with the tip just a moment ago, he's been a factor when he's come off the bench. I think he actually has been playing better coming off the bench. I think he sees what's happening and he realizes what he needs to do.
Justin Hemsley in for the first time. Both these teams will work some rotations. Cal Poly can play about 10 or 11 deep. Hawaii on occasion can do the same. The turnaround jump hook by Colvin. This is a guy who dropped 13 against San Diego State, and we know how good the Aztecs are this year.
Yeah.
That was back in October. Hemsley thought about it, little show and go action, and then got ripped on the way to the hoop. Rogers brings it into the front court. Another freshman from Covington, Georgia, gets it into Nolan Taylor.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, he is. Up and under move. Left it just short off the front iron. Taylor, a transfer from Pepperdine, missed the first 14 games of the season with injury. But he is out there now for the 3rd straight game. That went off the mark by Hemsley. Body's hitting the floor. Hemsley got it back, and guess who? Keith Smith, in the middle of all the action yet again, takes it right back for the Mustangs.
If you're Cal Poly, you feel better. I mean, right now you haven't been competing on the glass, but you're only down 8 in this ball game.
Pull up by Smith. Nicely done there.
Make that down 6 now.
First bucket on the first shot attempt from the field for Keith Smith. All of a sudden, 6-point separation doesn't seem quite as bad as when we saw it at 14-4 to start.
That's 2 possessions. Rainbow Warriors need a good offensive set right here.
Here's Buggs, under 10 to shoot. Stansbury, hand in his face, off the heel. Fight for the loose basketball, won by Colvin.
All of a sudden, the guys in white seem like they want the ball a little bit more than the guys in green.
Cal Poly will push. That's a bit of a difference, perhaps. Here's Ballard open for 3. And a foul will be called. It's going to be an offensive foul. As Buggs hit the deck, they're going to say that Ballard kicked out. 57 final over UC Riverside.
Yeah, they were on fire.
But Ballard picking up that offensive foul on the 3-point shot prior to the timeout. We saw the replay during the break, and what do you think, Artie?
I didn't think it was an offensive foul. I think it's one of those things where the referee was in a certain position, and from his vantage point, it looked like he kicked the leg out. He did not do that. He just landed. And unfortunately, Ballard was called for the foul.
And Carper in a certain position there. Prime position in the post, gets the jump hook to go. Hawaii up 8. Bose shooting 35% from the field to start. Here's Jakola. Oh, the high arching hook shot. 6'10" sophomore from Helsinki, Finland. Shooting 57% from the field. That's 4th best among Big West Conference players. Avea trying to establish position down low against Mark Crow. Well, what we have seen from this Cal Poly team is they will mix up the defensive coverages. They will go from man to zone and back and forth throughout the game at the drop of a dime.
Yeah, it forces you to make adjustments in your sets and to recognize what they're in and run the appropriate offensive set.
Bugs bounce pass to Carper. Oh, it rims out on him. Would have been a fantastic dime dropped by Bugs. Another thing we see from this Cal Poly team under John Smith is they will always look to push it when given even just a hint of an opportunity.
Yeah, they want to run, and they want to run under control.
Bit of a difference compared to the Joe Calero years. Here's Crow. That went off the mark. Great box out there by the big fella Carper. Bounce pass, Raimo streaking, now hands it off to Stansberry. Pull up, Jay, that was beautiful.
When Eddie is on balance and he's shooting it with confidence like that, it's a beautiful thing to see.
The team's leading scorer, 17 per outing, shooting 35% from downtown, and it looks like Eddie commits the foul, but here he is at the offensive end.
Yeah, watch this now. Good pass by Zigmar. As you see, he just takes one dribble, squares up, his shoulders are square to the basket, and he shoots it with absolute ease.
You saw the foot in front of the three-point arc, so a two-pointer there for Eddie. Now a few more subs back into the game here for Cal Poly. Starters Jamal Smith and Alamami Koroma.
Well, John Smith goes deep on his bench. All the players he has, he's using them.
And he's used a bunch of different starting lineups as well. At least 10 different starting lineup combinations this season already. Harwell got caught up in the air, throws it away. That is turnover number 7 for Cal Poly. A little messy at that end.
Yeah, if you're not rebounding and you're turning the ball over, that's not going to get you too many victories, especially when you're on the road.
And that's a tough combination for sure. Hawaii with 5 of its points off of Cal Poly turnovers and a defensive foul called against Jamal Smith. Smith has committed the most fouls on the team coming into this game, had 48. Picks up his first of this contest right there. And that will also be the 7th team foul for Cal Poly, so that will send Justin Webster to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1. What we have seen from these freshmen, Justin Webster and Bernardo da Silva, has been pretty remarkable, particularly for a team that maybe doesn't have quite as much depth as they initially thought they would. And these are 2 freshmen who have stepped it up. Part of that, according to Eran Ganot, the fact that they've played at some prominent high school programs. Bernardo da Silva coming out of nationally respected Wasatch Academy in Utah. And you have Justin Webster, who spent a year at Hargrave Military Academy, in which he was away from home. So yeah, a little bit of a jump on the true freshman experience, if you will.
Yeah, both of them are playing very, very well. We also should credit Chris Gerlofson, because he's the one who started putting them in and giving them the confidence when Eran Ganot was out sick. As you see Dawson Carper get the ball down low and complete a play. But he instilled in them that they can do it, and now they're believing they can, and Eran is exactly happy to have them out there playing.
Well, the lead got cut down to a half dozen. Now it's out to its largest of the game. 12-point advantage for Hawaii, and we got another turnover here by Cal Poly.
Cal Poly is struggling big time just taking care of the basketball and turning it over against situations where you don't have to.
Oh, the block there by Koroma was a good give-and-go action there between Raimo and Avea, and then a traveling violation called against Jamal Smith. He's leading them all.
Zigmar says he's 6'9".
I'm just saying that's where he's listed.
Oh, okay. He's measured at 6'7". But he likes to say I'm 6'9".
Hey, he's rebounding like he's 6'9".
Yeah, he
maybe
is.
More.
He's got 5 on the night tonight, so he's well on his way to his average. He should exceed that if he continues to play hard.
Gets it from Avea, goes up lefty and finishes. Zigmar's Raimo has 7.
7 and 5 thus far.
He's missed a few chippies, 2 of 8 from the floor. But still a strong offensive performance here for Raimo, and then he clears the rebound after the Koroma miss.
Making 6 rebounds now.
8-0 run for Hawaii. Shot by Webster, left it short. Here's Keith Smith looking to force the issue. A little hesitation there by Harwell. Cal Poly has to get into its half court.
Credit the Rainbow Warrior defense for coming back, and then just Poly is just throwing the ball away. Not because of great defensive pressure necessarily, they're just being careless with the basketball.
I mean, they're throwing it all over the place. That's 10 turnovers here for the Mustangs.
I'm not even sure who that pass was destined, where it was going. It was like in between two players.
It's almost as if they're trying to rev the throttle a little too much, that maybe they could slow it down just a tick.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Here's Raimo, turns baseline on Colvin, goes behind the back to Da Silva, but he wasn't ready. The three by Ballard, it's good. Junior Ballard, who is shooting 32% from beyond the arc.
Junior Ballard knocked down that shot, and Poly needed that in a big way.
27-16 in favor of Hawaii. Give and go not there. Raimo misses again. I mean, he's got 7. He could already have about 15 points if he was hitting some of those. Underneath, Nolan Taylor, the hesitation, and draws the whistle.
Yeah, Zigmars has missed his share of lay-ins this year. Watch this nice jump shot again by Ballard. And once again, that right foot goes forward when he shoots the ball. That might just be the way he gets his shot off.
You're right. He was called for an offensive foul, if you remember, earlier in this half for a similar placement of that front foot after the shot release. That actually looked potentially more egregious than the first one.
Yeah. That one I would have blown the whistle and made the call. And his teammates, I feel kind of bad for the big fella who shot the air ball.
Oh, barely got rim there.
Yeah, he needs to go recalibrate that right arm.
So an air ball and a grazing.
Yeah, you can't be
from
that
Nolan Taylor.
You can't be that size to shoot air balls. I mean, that's a big man.
He's going to go to the line, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you foul him all day long if he's going to shoot like that.
Here's Avea keeping the dribble, spins and finishes.
Samuta Avea becoming aggressive offensively.
7 points for Avea. He's 3 of 4 from the floor. Hawaii by 13. That shot in and out by Rogers. And the story so far of this game, Hawaii out-rebounding Cal Poly 19-10. Cal Poly also with 10 turnovers. Here's Avea hit as he let the 3 fly. He's going to shoot 3.
When Samuta Avea is engaged and locked in, he's fun to watch. Really fun to watch. When he's active on both ends of the floor. Right now he's going to knock down 3 free throws, but you love his physical abilities, and he's starting to understand this game a lot better.
I mean, he's one of the prime examples, I think, of what the objective for this coaching staff is, for this program under Eran Ganot, which relies so heavily on player development. Samuta Avea is a golden example of that development, and it starts with the player himself, right?
He has to have 1-2.
Exactly.
Yep, and Samuta, I know, has that 1-2. And you hope that you can get a lot of guys to come in and have that same desire. My hope is that Bernardo Da Silva is a guy who has that 1-2, because physically, as a young guy, he might be off the charts. He's gifted.
He's playing really well right now, as is Avea. Second free throw rims out. On cue, Da Silva able to get his hands on the offensive rebound, deflected out of bounds. It belongs to the team in white. And Eran Ganot says that's another key, is with that idea of player development being at the forefront of what is emphasized in this program. He wants to recruit workers, and he feels confident that they have, to this point, done a good job of doing that. And that's a good move there by Colvin. He draws the whistle. Looks like Justin Hemsley going to pick this one up. So Colvin to the line. As mentioned, he is a San Luis Obispo native. First to suit up for Cal Poly in 7 years. So they didn't have to go very far to recruit him out of Mission Prep High School, where he averaged 23 points per game as a senior. Redshirted a year ago, splashes the first free throw. Already 6 players in the scoring column for Hawaii, led by Samuta Avea's 9. Looking for his 4th straight double-figure scoring game. Colvin goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line on that trip. And Hemsley tripped up by Smith, who helps him up off the deck.
Hawaii got surprised that time by a little half-court trap, and Drew Buggs was fortunate his pass was tipped, but not stolen.
So here is Hemsley to the free throw line. A career high tying 9 points, also had 6 rebounds in the loss to UC Irvine.
He played well in that game.
Irvine, one of the favorites in the conference year after year. Hawaii winning its opener on the road at Cal State Fullerton 75-69. So a split on the road, as you've alluded to. If Hawaii can hold court here at home, they put themselves in a pretty prime position.
Yeah, I think they could be 1, 2, or 3 if you win half your road games and you hold court at home.
Ballard drew a lot of contact, no whistle. Verticality granted there that time to De Silva. Here is De Silva, deep post position. And he gets denied at the rim by Yakola. Smith already in the front court, sets up Ballard for 3. He knocks it down.
Ballard looks like he's a real shooter now. That's one of those transition plays where they get down, get the pace, and get it up before the defense gets set.
Half-court trap again being employed here by Cal Poly, a zone defensive look. Buggs bounce past De Silva, and that time it wasn't denied by Yakola.
And that's because Drew Buggs throws such a nice pass. He drops the dime at the right place. It's the right speed, right height.
Yeah, right in the pocket. Yakola too strong off of the glass. Under 4 minutes to play here in the opening frame. Backdoor cut there by Stansbury, too strong with it on the reverse, but he's fouled. But if you're the honorary captain, and you were an honorary captain earlier this season, don't you get to sit on the bench the entire game if you want to?
Usually you do. I'm not sure what they're doing with Johnny. I guess they just told him, no, you cannot sit on the bench. I'm not sure what the deal is. And I know he and Ron are real close. I mean, they got a real love affair, but I'm not sure what the deal is with that now. My goodness. And Kavika Hallams, I mean, he was sitting all over the bench.
Well, largest lead for Hawaii at 16. The free throws made out of the timeout. And Drew Buggs able to track down that miss. Quick trigger by Stansbury. Eddie right now 1 of 4 from the field. Little heat test perhaps. Here's Colvin from distance. Good rebound by Hemsley.
Good hands by Justin Hemsley. Rainbow Warriors up by 16, and they haven't played great basketball, but they're up by 16, and that's because defensively they've gotten after it, and Poly has just turned the ball over so many times.
De Silva tried to drop it off to Hemsley, too much traffic underneath. Smith. Nice dish to Ballard. He gets fouled by De Silva. Count the bucket.
Good fast break opportunity. They did not get into a half-court set. They used tempo and transition, got down the floor, and got a bucket and won. A little Euro step by Smith. Ballard catches it, finishes it, and will get to the free throw line. Could break down this to a 13-point advantage.
Well, Ballard, again, the team's leading scorer, but he's come off the bench here in recent games. Out of Stockton, California, just a sophomore. Interesting move there by John Smith, electing to bring him off of the bench to provide a little scoring among the reserves.
This half court 1-3-1.
Resulting in a Avea look. Too strong with it.
If you don't get a steal, you want to force a quick shot or a shot that's not your normal shot, as we just saw there.
Smith, not sure if that was a shot or a pass. Either way, Colvin stepped on the baseline.
If I'm Smith, I'm saying that was a lob. I was trying to lob to you, man, because if he goes up and misses from 7 feet, shoots an air ball, that's not a good sign right there. So he's claiming lob that was not understood.
I think the expression on the face of John Smith kind of telling the story right now, with Cal Poly trailing by 13, and a good look for Eddie. Rattles in and out.
See, what this press has done, the full court or the half court press in the zone has done is force the Rainbows to quick shoot the ball.
Nicola gets fouled by Carper. Carper getting those arms tangled up a little bit there defensively. Darren White, Juan Corral, and Andy Cohn, the officiating trio here this evening. And Tuka Yakola missing from the free throw line. Cal Poly now 2 of 8 on the season. They shoot 68% from the charity stripe, as Mate Cholina makes his first appearance of the evening. We've seen some pretty bad misses on that end of the floor from the free throw line.
Yeah, they're short, and I'm not sure why you would be short when you're that big.
Under 2 minutes to play here in this opening half. Bugs rounding the corner, tried to bullet pass it to Cholina. Rima winds up with it. How about the Euro step? Gets it back. Up top it's Stansberry. His three off the mark. Avea's tip, no. Avea had climbed the ladder above all others, but wasn't able to finish.
And I think Avea hurt himself.
Well, he does seem to be walking gingerly here at the defensive end. The three ball by Rogers, no, and the rebound Stansberry. Rimo dared to shoot. Couldn't make him pay, and then Cholina getting down there with Jamal Smith for the loose basketball, and now there's
Upgrade was a result of not the initial action, but the secondary action.
Well, Smith misses the first free throw. Second one gets the friendly bounce, and Cal Poly will retain possession here due to that flagrant foul upgrade. So Jamal Smith heads to the bench where he will chill for a little bit. We talk about that Smith family. Yeah. Uncle Keith Jones, also the senior VP of operations for the Houston Rockets. So hoops is certainly in the bloodline.
No question.
Good looking shot there by Job Alexander, 6'4" senior.
And isn't a daughter that plays in Houston?
You name it.
Man, I tell you what, that family's got some ballers on their team.
Speaking of ballers, Stansberry loose, can't hit though. Eddie Stansberry coming off of an 11-point 3 for 13 shooting performance against UC Irvine. He went big against Fullerton the game before, hit for 25 in that one. But it's been somewhat slim pickings here early, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 for 5 from outside the property line.
Yeah, he usually shoots much better than that at home.
All right, about a 4-second differential between the clocks. A collision between Mustangs, and Rimo gets fouled, dribbling up the floor the other way. Well, that's not one for the highlight reel if you're Cal Poly, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, if you're calling out an offensive set and a play, they just that's about as confusing as possible.
I mean, you hate to pile on, but if there was a SportsCenter not top 10 play so far from this opening half, that might be it.
The Shaq and the Fool. That might be one of those Shaq and the Fool.
You're right. That would be a candidate for sure. And yet, after all of that, Cal Poly, for all intents and purposes, at this moment down 11, there's a lot of basketball left.
There's a ton of basketball left, and they have shown sparks and moments of really competing well.
Rimo Raimo hits the free throw. Raimo already a near double-double, 9 points, 9 rebounds. The three ball by Rogers.
Oh, that's huge.
That is
huge.
a biggie. Before the buzzer.
Samuto Avea is kind of the Energizer Bunny. When he's active and involved, it usually bodes well for the Rainbow Warriors.
Hawaii 9-1 overall when leading at halftime this season. And here they are trying to protect a 9-point advantage, and Zigmar's Raimo already with his 10th board.
And Ballard goes down to the ground with a shot, and Eddie.
Stansberry strikes his first make from the land of three, and a positive start for Hawaii here at the onset of half number 2. Harwell, the pull-up. Maybe a quick shot on that possession for Cal Poly.
Well, just a good defensive challenge.
Oh, and there's Keith Smith jarring it loose from Bugs. Going 1-on-2. He doesn't care about the odds, but he's perhaps biting off a little more than he could chew there.
Well, everything looked nice except for the finish.
Here's Bugs in the post area.
Well, Bugs
against Smith, and he's called for the offensive foul.
And Drew Bugs is not scoring in this ball game. He's got no points thus far.
He's only attempted one shot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think he's trying to get himself going offensively.
Bugs does have 4 assists, and so he is officially tied with Roderick Bobbitt for 4th all-time in career assists at the University of Hawaii. He has a chance by the end of this season to be the career assists king in Rainbow Warrior history. And when you think about that, that's pretty remarkable.
That's
Under
incredible.
Eran Ganat's watch, you've had Roderick Bobbitt, who set the steals record. You had Jack Purchase, who set the 3-point field goal record. And you're going to have a point guard in Drew Bugs who's going to set the assist record.
Right. And Drew Bugs setting the assist record, when you think about it, there's been some really good guards here who have handled the basketball really well.
That's right. And Drew Bugs officially now tied with one of them in Roderick Bobbitt, who was honored earlier this season as the honorary captain.
Yeah, and he is one of the toughest players that's ever played here.
And that one tapped out of bounds. Another miss there by Keith Smith. The all-time leader, by the way, Troy Bowe, with 412 career assists. Anthony Carter, Kalia McGee, 2 and 3 behind him. I mean, you're talking about just some of the absolute legends there. As Bugs misses from distance, chases it down, heaves it over his head, and Avea in the right spot. And a foul going to be called against Ballard trying to pry it loose. Third foul on Ballard and Drew Bugs. You know, sometimes he completes passes for buckets. Other times he completes passes for out-of-bounds saves. 2 minutes into this second half. Hawaii by a dozen. And we're going to have a whistle against the Mustangs. Foul starting to pile up a little bit here for Cal Poly. Yeah, Ballard just picking up his 3rd. All but 2 players that have played in this game for the Mustangs have personal fouls, and here's another one. This is going to go against Harwell, and that's going to be his 3rd.
You know what's happening to Cal Poly? They are a step slow in reacting to the basketball. That's 2 or 3 possessions, 2 or 3 times where Rainbow Warriors have been just quicker to the ball. And they're called by contact after the fact that Hawaii's gotten the rebound or gotten the tip.
Here's Avea, mid-range baseline shot, a little strong there. And it belongs to Cal Poly out of bounds.
Hawaii's putting on some full-court pressure.
The Mustangs preseason pick to finish 9th. Or last in the Big West Conference. That's where they were at the end of last regular season. 2 and 14 in the Big West last year, did not qualify for the conference tournament. Here's the pull-up. Rogers off the mark, rebound Bugs. Stansbury stopping and popping. And Raimo another rebound. Kept alive by Da Silva initially. And they'll reset. Five seconds to shoot. Da Silva. How about that recognition? He looked at the other end of the floor at the shot clock, saw that it was down to 5, and so he pulled the trigger and hit.
And if you're 6'9" and you have that short corner jump shot in your arsenal, you're going to be really pretty good.
6.6 boards for Bernardo. Colvin, quick trigger. Rebound of Vea. And he brings it across the timeline. Bugs somehow maintaining his dribble. Almost going Curly Neal fashion there.
Yeah.
Avea, good set up there by Stansbury. The 3 off the mark, though. Here's Jamal Smith into the front court. A brief lull in the offensive action here the last few trips up and down. Under 10 to shoot on this possession. Yakola too strong with it. Rebound Stansbury. Good bounce pass underneath. Da Silva double teamed. Finds Bugs, hesitated for a moment. Avea will let it fly. Da Silva and Raimo actually in a tug of war for the offensive board. Last touch out of bounds by Cal Poly.
That's a prime.
Pretty remarkable statistics.
Okay.
Hawaii's lowest field goal percentage in a victory this season is 36.1. That came in the opener against Florida A&M. Oh, the missed chippy by Stansbury and Da Silva. Again, fighting for the offensive board. That is going to add a 14th offensive rebound to Hawaii's stat line. Cal Poly still has 0 offensive boards.
Yeah, well, it's just, you know, rebounding is about want to. You have to want to rebound. You got to have that fire in your belly where you want to go get it.
Da Silva gets the friendly bounce at the free throw line. 58% free throw shooter, but how about his performance on the road in the Big West opener against Cal State Fullerton? 10 points, 10 rebounds for Da Silva. First UH freshman double-double recorded since Isaac Fotu did it in the 2012-2013 season.
Ooh, you mentioned Da Silva with Isaac Fotu. That's a good company.
That's right.
Isaac Fotu is special.
And one last notable statistic here. Cal Poly 0 for 7 so far since halftime. Smith leaves it for Alexander, hangs in the air. And we're going to have a tie-up. Possession arrow will send it the other way.
Even when they do show want to, it's a tie-up and goes Hawaii's way.
How much of this is what Cal Poly is not doing? How much of this is what that Hawaii defense is forcing them not to do?
I think Hawaii's defense has been really pretty good the first 5 minutes of this second half. And Hawaii has gotten into their offensive sets pretty well.
Well, that one went in and out on Webster. The 3 ball there is pure by Colby Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers needs to shoot the ball more. Both he and Ballard, they both need to be on the floor knocking down shots because both of them shoot the ball pretty well.
Yeah, Rogers averaging 8.5 per game, has 7 double-figure scoring games so far this year. Here's Webster inside the arc. Nicely done. He's got 7. Nobody in double-figure scoring yet for Hawaii. It has been a very balanced attack thus far. Good pass underneath, but a traveling violation as Karoma couldn't quite secure it. And a missed opportunity. He was right in front of the rim.
Yeah, a moment ago, you see Rogers pull up and hit a 3-point shot, and he is a good-looking jump shooter, as is Ballard for Pauli. It's interesting that they don't play at the same time on the floor.
Yeah, Rogers actually the team leader in made 3-point field goals coming into this game. He's 2 of 4 from downtown so far in this one. Here's Bugs. Under 14 minutes to play in the game, and De Silva going to be called for the screen.
Now that's partially De Silva's fault and partially Drew Bugs' fault. Because first, as Drew Bugs has got to wait for the screen to be set before he moves to the right. And De Silva, if Bugs doesn't come as close as possible, you can't move the knee out a little further once the play is started.
So De Silva picks up number 2. He goes to the bench. Dawson Carper into the game.
Well, the fans are still on Mr. Smith.
There's still a little habut about the flagrant one that was given to Mate Cholina. The pull-up by Rogers, getting the mid-range going too.
Yeah, now Rogers is starting to come alive a little bit offensively for Pauley.
47-34 is the score. Hawaii is led by as many as 16. Bugs leans in. Drew Bugs remains scoreless now, 0 for 3 from the floor. Smith is hearing it.
This is unusual for Hawaii people.
You're right.
There's a love affair, I guess, with Mate.
Good block there by Carper. Open look, Jamal Smith barely nicks the rim.
Yeah, I don't think Jamal is one of the three-point threats. At least not tonight, anyway.
I mean, Jamal Smith must be thinking, hey, look, I was the one who was flagrantly fouled. Why are you booing me?
Yeah. Not a good pass by Zigmars that time.
Rogers pull up.
Rogers can shoot it. I'm telling you, the man can shoot the basketball.
He's revving that engine at the moment. He's got 11. The only player on either side in double figures, and Cal Poly within 10.
Yeah. If I'm Coach Smith, I'm bringing Junior Ballard back in the game too. Give me a double weapons.
14-time Nahoku Hanohano Award winner Mark Yamanaka shares his cooking talent by making a tulip fried rice recipe on Cooking Hawaiian Style Monday night at a special time immediately following live ILH basketball on Spectrum OC16. Carper trying to muscle it back up, couldn't get it over the front of the rim, and now we got a foul called against Cal Poly before the second shot attempt by Carper.
Hawaii was very fortunate on that play when Zigmar shot an air ball and the ball was rebounded.
Well, Hawaii has made one of its last 7 field goals. They're experiencing a scoring drought of about 2.5 minutes, but they still lead by 10. Under 12 to play here. Conference home opener for the Rainbow Warriors. Preseason pick to finish 4th in the Big West. Here's Bugs turning the corner, leaning in, can't get it to go. Bugs still sitting on a goose egg under the scoring column. And Jamal Smith continues to hear the wrath from the Stan Sheriff Center crowd.
It's so unusual for a Hawaii crowd.
If you're just joining us, Smith was tangled up with Mate Cholina earlier in the game. Cholina actually was called for a flagrant 1 foul on the play, but Jamal Smith is the one who's feeling it.
Yeah. Mate's a popular guy here in Hawaii.
You mentioned he is one of the nicest
human beings
in the entire athletic department.
Yep.
And so the crowd doesn't like you messing with Mate. Don't be giving Mate no flagrant 1 fouls.
Oof.
Bad miss there. I don't think Jamal Smith was expecting that when he laced him up here tonight.
Well, I don't think the crowd understands that Jamal Smith, his grandfather played here for the Rainbow Warriors.
That is a good point.
Give him some love.
That is a good point. I'm not sure if they're all thoroughly informed on that as Yakola flushes it with 2 hands. And looky here, 10.5 minutes to play. It's an 8-point game.
That's right. So this thing is getting a little tighter than I'm sure Hawaii would like to see it. Eddie Stansbury gets one to fall.
Going to the bucket. Eddie now with 9. This is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's so unusual for Hawaii.
10 minutes to play, 10 seconds to shoot. And what do we have here? An offensive foul. It was Justin Webster digging in and absorbing the contact.
Jamal Smith, and that gave the crowd a little more fire right there.
All right, so let's rewind. This is what happened earlier.
That caused the people to...
Nate Cholina and Smith going down, tangled up, and then Cholina sort of with the extra effort there the second time around. It was a common foul against Cholina. Jamal Smith was none too happy about it. After a review by the officials, they upgraded the foul to a flagrant one.
And the fans?
And now the fans are booing Jamal Smith.
Yeah. Explain that one.
Webster wide open. Too strong with it. We've seen some shots missing
from that
pretty
side.
severely on that end of the floor.
Yeah, somebody's got a door open up there.
Job Alexander finishes. We're going to have a flopping warning
against Drew Buggs.
Against Buggs.
Yeah. Watch this now. Buggs starts to fall down. Oh, I'm going down. Oh, great contact. Drew, come on, man. That is not one of the Academy Award performances.
Here's Stansbury. Got it to go.
Yeah. Just when Hawaii needs Eddie to come alive, Eddie is delivering.
12 points for Stansbury, the lone player in double figures. The team's leading scorer at 17 per. Colvin from straight on.
Oh, splash. He said, back at you, Eddie Stansbury.
And with almost 9 minutes remaining.
Still at 8, huh?
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly's making a game of it right now.
Not going easily.
If they can get a stop against the Rainbow Warriors and get it down to maybe 6, it becomes a different ball game.
Stansbury stopping and popping.
Ooh.
Well, whether it be Joe Calero or now John Smith on the sideline, one thing that's remained constant here for Cal Poly is they will muck it up. Colvin, the drive, denied by Hemsley. But a foul is called, and it's going to go against Carper.
Justin, good weak side defensive help. He saw his big man get lost as you watch Eddie Stansbury drain a big-time 3, and then the big fella from Cal Poly. What does he say? I could do that too.
And it is the redshirt freshman Colvin at the free throw line, and he makes the first.
He's got a nice stroke. He's got a real nice stroke. He's driving to the basket. As you see the elbow, the forearm against the head. If Carper understood, he had a little help defender behind him. Because Hemsley got up there big time.
Hemsley was washing windows up there.
Yes, he was. And he is one of the better jumpers on the Hawaii team. Plus, he's got extremely long arms.
Before the game, he actually jumped up and appeared to touch the rim with his head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no question he can do that. De Silva, Hemsley, Samuta Avea. All 3 of those guys can do that.
Reset here. 10 seconds to shoot. Cal Poly within 6, about as close as they've been in some time. 4 seconds to shoot. Buggs off balance. He has a knack for doing that right there.
That's a big bucket for Drew Buggs.
That's a first bucket for Drew Buggs.
Yeah. But just the fact that he has not scored and he still came up and took that tough shot with the clock running down.
How many times has he done that already this year?
Yeah, he's bringing his inner Brock Steptoe out.
That's right, late clock Brock, revisited by Drew Buggs.
There you go. I remember. This is what you do.
They are beating Cal Poly in the turnover department. Offensive rebounds 15-0, in fact. But Cal Poly, with that bucket right there from Malik Harwell, still within 6, 7.5 to go.
Now, this is a huge offensive possession for the Rainbow Warriors. The last thing you want to do is give a team extra confidence by making a stop against you.
Buggs. Now Rimo with the shot clock ticking down to 10, and we're going to have a foul against Ballard. Appeared to just kind of shove Hemsley out of the way, and that's going to be number 4 on Ballard. So that's a biggie. He's the team's top scorer at 11 a game. He's got 9 in this one, and he heads to the bench with 7:10 to go.
Yeah, Rogers comes back in the ball game. So they lose a good scorer, but they bring in a good scorer.
So Hemsley,
big free throws here.
that's right. He's 1 of 2 in this game. Overall on the season, Hemsley is now 8 of 11.
1 and 1 short.
Misses the front end. That was the 7th Cal Poly team foul. Hawaii still with just 3 team fouls on its side. Good crossover move there by Smith. And he finishes the lay-in. It is a 4-point differential. Well, again, whether it's Joe Calero or now first-year head coach John Smith, Cal Poly has a way of just kind of mucking it up, messing it up, making it a rhythmless type of ball game. And they have been able to fight and claw and ground and pound their way into this one.
And
after trailing by as many as 16.
Turnover, a strip of the ball against Justin Hemsley. And all of a sudden now, it's a 4-point game. This huge for Cal Poly and even larger for the Rainbow Warriors being at home. They've got to get a defensive stop.
Smith, he got fouled.
And he got bailed out. Because,
lost the handle.
Yeah, if he didn't get fouled, he would have lost the ball. Watch this now. That's a good take right there. A moment ago. But on this last play, he just got bailed out when he actually lost control of the basketball. It reset to 20 seconds on the clock.
Hemsley picking up that last foul. Open look here for Harwell. He had just hit a shot from the perimeter moments ago. Body's hitting the floor. Harwell challenges Hemsley, gets blocked, but gets fouled. Well, this is looking a lot more like a late season Big West Conference game than an early season Big West Conference affair.
I like the challenge, and I like the fact that Justin Hemsley did not give up the basket. He went straight up. It was vertical. He did not come down. Good defensive play and a great offensive take.
It's league play now.
Oh, this is what it's all about.
Seeing it.
Yeah, boy. This is when you want to play, and you want to see who has heart.
Well, even some moments being taken because Kyle Colvin appeared to have some blood trickling from the mouth, and so the officials giving him just a few moments to wipe that clean. It's been a physical battle. It was smooth sailing, it appeared, for Hawaii for a good portion of that first half, but Cal Poly has just steadily worked its way back in. They've made 5 of their last 6 field goals. The free throw line, however, a different story. Cal Poly now 5 of 14.
Yeah, it has been so unfriendly to Cal Poly. I mean, my goodness, they 5 for 14. Think about it. If they were 10 for 14, they'd be in this ball game big time. I mean, they'd be ahead.
Second free throw is good. Harwell has 3. 3-point game. It's a 1-possession differential. And Webster bringing the ball up. Here's Webster circling into the lane, hangs in the air and gets it to go. How about that from the flush?
Webster, he's a guy who can create off the dribble.
Quick 3 by Crow off the heel.
I'm not sure why Crow would take that shot as quick as he shot it. I mean,
under 10 on this possession. Here's Smith. Colvin pumps the defender out of the way, lets it fly, rattles in and out, no. And the rebound secured by Eddie Stansberry. That possession represented the first offensive rebound of the game for Cal Poly, by the way. 5 minutes to play. The lead is 5. Raimo trying to muscle his way up, and a whistle is blown.
I don't know if we've seen too many ball games where a team only has 1 offensive rebound during the course of a game.
Yeah, that's pretty rare, especially for a team that appears to be as active as this Cal Poly squad is. That is the 4th foul, by the way, called against Malik Harwell. And Zigmar's Raimo to the line, shooting 1 and 1.
Big free throws for Zigmar's.
An area he has worked on a lot throughout his career, and he knocks that one down coolly. He's now 6 of 7 from the line. That gives him his 10th point. He now has logged another double-double, 10 points, 12 boards.
He has improved tremendously in shooting free throws. Last year was a challenge for him at the line. This year he has been very, very consistent and very, very good.
Gets both of them there. And this is just your Zigmar's Rimo stat line right here, isn't it? 11 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists.
And he's got to have a steal.
Yeah, he definitely has a couple of those. Pull up there by Rogers. He's fouled in the act of shooting 3.
Oh, boy.
By Drew Buggs, nonetheless.
Yes, Drew Buggs is a guy who usually won't make that play, at least that mistake, because you don't foul a guy in 3-point range. Let's watch it again. Yeah, that's a little incidental contact coming on the side, but again, a lot of times when officials make calls, Kanoa, it's where they're positioned on the floor and how they see it on the floor.
And if the offensive player, even in this era of the judgment on the flopping call being so emphasized, if the offensive player can sell it.
Yeah.
And Rogers goes 2 of 3 from the line. Another board for Big Z.
Big Z is having a big ball game on the boards. Now he's gotten 13 rebounds. Seems like he's gotten more than that. But when you think about the all-time leader in Hawaii rebounding history, Bob Nash, as far as one game, what was it, 32? 33 rebounds in a game by himself.
Yeah, he was one of the best. Chairman of the board.
Oh, 30-something rebounds as an individual? That's someone's career.
4 minutes to play. Here's Rogers. Got another one to go. He's got 16 points and has erupted in this second half.
This is getting a little close now. This is getting serious for the Rainbow Warriors. They've got to turn it up a notch defensively now.
13 of Rogers' 16 points coming after the break. That one deflected away. Rimo tried to find a cutting Stansbury, and Cal Poly, who has not led in this game, has an opportunity to do just that with a 3. Alexander gets it in low. Yakola. And a defensive foul is called against De Silva. Yakola will go to the on the coaching staff for Hawaii. This was a game that saw the Rainbow Warriors lead by as many as 16. Yakola at the free throw line with a chance to tie it. If he makes these 2, he hits the first.
Well, this turns into a tie ball game. It's the last 3:21. All of a sudden, Cal Poly is starting to say, why not? Why not us?
They get an offensive board. Crow out battling Rimo for it.
Oh, my goodness.
The Mustangs have never led in this ball game. They can do so with a bucket. 5 seconds to shoot. They got to put it up. Colvin driving against Rimo. And that'll be a shot clock violation. Stout defensive effort there by the Bows. How did you see Cal Poly work their way back into this game, Artie?
They started competing. They started trying to match effort and going after loose balls, and Rogers came and started knocking down big-time shots for them.
Stansbury off the dribble. Got it to go!
And see, now Eddie is in a certain place defensively and make a couple defensive stops.
Whatever the outcome here this evening, it is just a reminder of how difficult it is
in conference
to negotiate through the Big West Conference schedule.
Conference schedule, throw everything out because it starts over.
Rogers.
He's been big. He's been big.
And just getting bigger. 18 points now for Rogers.
He's somebody that, I mean, I've not seen him. I don't remember seeing him in the past, and he is big time right now.
He is just a freshman. That's why
I haven't seen him. Man, he's just a freshman. They got a freshman like that. That's, shoot. Be careful now. Probably maybe something special going forward.
It's a new season high for Rogers. Bugs, oh, that one went in and out. So tantalizing. 2 minutes to play, 2-point game. The three is long from Crow. Last touched out of bounds by Hawaii. It stays with Cal Poly. This is reviewable under 2 minutes. As strong as he has been at times this season, I'm not sure how high up the scout he was, and here he is as just a freshman. He's got a season-high 18.
Yeah, he's playing very, very well.
Yakola misses from up close.
Boy, a great inbounds play, and you miss an easy one. That's a huge miss right there.
Had a chance to tie it.
After shot and playing big time, it seems like the moment is not too big for him.
Well, it is a big moment here for Hawaii. Protecting a 2-point advantage. Bugs sends it almost towards us, but Stansbury able to track it down. Under 10 to shoot. Raimo looking to attack. Bounce pass to Silva. Challenges Yakola and draws the whistle. So it will be the freshman Bernardo da Silva going to the free throw line to shoot some high stakes shots.
Well, these are the first big time pressure free throws I remember for Bernardo da Silva. He goes up, attacks the basket, gets fouled. Now he's got to knock down 2 free throws.
2 for 2 so far. This game goes long there. Da Silva 8 points, 8 boards, a couple of assists on his stat line. Looks to make it a 3-point game here. Goes long with it a second time. And then a collision with Yakola. They're going to call Yakola for a traveling violation. Hawaii retains possession.
Wow. If you're John Smith, you're not going crazy over it, so you saw the travel as well. Big possession for Hawaii.
That's right. Here's Stansbury. How about the freshmen Webster and Da Silva playing in crunch time here in a big conference battle?
And Samuto there, not on the floor for the Rainbow Warriors.
Bugs. 6 seconds to shoot. Muscles it up at him. How did he find the space? Well, Hawaii came out like gangbusters tonight. It looked as though they were in position to just blow the doors off of the Mustangs. But Cal Poly has scratched and clawed its way back into it. And now we got a very close ball game here in the final minute. Yakola backing in on Da Silva. Goes to the jump hook and knocks it down. Yakola now with 9.
To misses, and they get an offensive rebound, you've got to then commit the foul. But right now, all you have to do is dig in and take personal responsibility and have pride playing defense. If you're the Rainbow Warriors, execute something out of a good offensive set, something that you're comfortable with.
Stansbury. Raimo not looking to shoot from out there at the moment. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Drew Bugs with it.
Be smart, be careful right now.
Bugs off the hezzy. Step back jumper. Off the front iron, no. Rebound Colvin. Under 10 seconds to play. And it is thrown out of bounds. The pass from Smith went right through the hands of Mark Crow. And it's Hawaii basketball, 6.6 to play. And now they have to foul as John Smith instructs his team. And if you want anybody at the free throw line for Hawaii, this is usually the guy.
Yeah, you want Eddie there.
And he makes it a 3-point game.
And Eddie's having a conversation with Smith.
.87% free throw shooter. Got them both.
Yep.
Desperation time for the Mustangs. Smith hands it off to Ballard, the 3. At